Welcome back to Faculty Spotlights. My name is Dr. Anna Belmonte. I'm the Division Chair for Forensic Psychology here at the Chicago School. I'm joined today by Dr. Jason Dana, an Associate Professor at our Chicago campus. Thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Dana.
Thank you.
Can you kick us off by sharing a bit about your background and what brought you to the Chicago School?
Well, I originally began teaching at the Chicago School as an adjunct in 2003. An individual who was on staff at the time, faculty, talked to me about an opportunity to teach the adult offender evaluation and treatment of the adult offender course. It was right in line with the work I was doing at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, a federal pretrial prison. I had been, at that time, I had been employed by the Bureau of Prisons for 4 years, transferred here to Chicago to fill a forensic psychology position. And so my correctional and forensic assessment background, I think, blended really well with the course. So I came on board there and just continued to teach throughout my career in the Bureau of Prisons. I retired in December of 2021, and that came about right at the moment that a faculty position was coming open. So I applied, and here I am.
Amazing, yes. Your background in correctional psychology is obviously particularly important here in our forensic psychology program. And so along with that, can you tell us what areas of teaching or research or practice that you're most passionate about?
You know, all of the courses I teach right now are courses that I think align themselves very well with my work experience. And I think that that's important for me. Having that professional experience gives me, I think, some insights. Assists me in kind of presenting information, taking it out of the textbook, and putting it into the real world. So the evaluation treatment of the adult offender, I'm particularly enjoying the practicum and internship seminars, because that's really an opportunity to work one-on-one with students to watch them grow and develop professionally as they do the hard work of transitioning from an academic environment into a practical real-world experience where vignettes become people, and people's lives are, oftentimes quite chaotic in the forensic environment. So I also teach violence risk assessment, which is another area that I have strong interest in, particularly having worked in a prison system where the perception is that everyone has a heightened risk for violence. I mean, you still have to be able to separate what your environment's risk is in comparison to the individual that you're working with. And I've actually really enjoyed the theories of group psychotherapy course. So I really enjoy all the stuff I'm doing. Specific to corrections is the psychology and law enforcement course and the hostage negotiation or crisis negotiation course. I think both of those are very important areas. And from a treatment clinical perspective, I think the hostage negotiation course has some skills that translate into the therapy sessions. So a lot of different areas that all speak to my core background that I enjoy.
Yeah, the hostage negotiation class I want to highlight for a second, because I know that that's something that's fairly unique to our program. And to your point, while it's a niche area, hostage negotiation, the skills learned in it, like de-escalation, teamwork, that all can be applicable to other situations. I'm wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about what it seems to be everybody's favorite part of the class, the role play, and how you've used your personal background in that role play.
I would have to say that the role play is probably their most and least favorite part of the class, all rolled up into one. The course obviously works through different techniques, history of crisis negotiation, some of the key purposes, speaks to all of the different positions that a negotiation team has. Obviously, much different than what television portrays, right? Crisis negotiation is not, hostage negotiation is not, one guy with a crappy attitude showing up and acting smart to get a guy to come out. It is a team effort. We have a 6-person team that we teach all the different responsibilities to. And then we have a hostage negotiation training scenario that each individual in the class will participate in as one of those 6 team roles. Have been fortunate to have some folks that have volunteered to be the hostage takers or the hostages, the subjects of the negotiation for several years now, and they are getting very, very good at creating the emotional intensity. I think the students will be most surprised by how real it becomes and how quickly it becomes real in the setting. That seems to be kind of the feedback that I get. We like to bring outside law enforcement, outside psychology personnel who have experience and training into that scenario as well, so that they can get feedback from professionals in the field that have an expertise in the area as well. I came to that through my membership in the hostage negotiation team at the Federal Correctional Institution in Phoenix. I was on the team there for 4 years. We trained with Phoenix Police and the Phoenix FBI. So I try and bring some of that practical experience to the course as well.
Yeah, definitely a really cool aspect. And it kind of segues nicely into our next question, but how do you see your work impacting students in the community?
Starting with the students, traditionally, and it has become a stronger focus of mine over the years since I became faculty, and really have much more consistent exposure to the individual students over the entirety of their time here at the school. As an adjunct, you have your 1 or 2 courses. You see a person there. You go through your 14 weeks, then you don't have a whole lot of opportunity to necessarily interact with them out of class. That's something that I think has led me to really focus my interactions with students on teaching them how to think about what they're doing. That has become a really big part of what I do. We can't give people every scenario that they're ever going to run across. We can't give them every situation, every circumstance, every insightful or meaningful response to a statement that a client makes. They have to leave our program being able to think about what they know, and then also think about what they're doing. And that's a skill. That's not something that I think most people come into our program necessarily being able to do. And I found different kind of creative ways to do that in the classroom, so that people are thinking, self-reflecting, attempting to have an objective, broad perspective of the issue or the circumstance that they're dealing with. I have always incorporated quotes out of the media that I have found to be specifically insightful. I've begun to incorporate concepts of the growth mindset, the idea that individuals what they're thinking, and how they're performing, moving people away from these linear outcome oriented indication of success and really developing that confidence to think on their own. About a year ago, I started incorporating some of my own quotes and thoughts, just putting them on the board and not discussing them at all, so that students had the opportunity to kind of think about what the message was and reflect on its meaning in their own lives. And I think that translates into the community because it brings a open-minded, complex thinker to often in the forensic world, a very chaotic environment for the individual client. And if we can translate that that process of learning how to think, then our students become stronger at understanding the unique individuality of their client. And again, in the forensic environment, this is often a population that has been disenfranchised and marginalized. And so the opportunity for for those individuals in the community to be heard as a unique person, I don't think you can replace that in your profession.
And again, even kind of going a little deeper on some of the things you've already said, but what do you think makes our program unique or especially valuable to students?
No, I think there are several things. One, this program has continued to evolve over several decades, and I think that is lost. The on-ground program, I've been teaching in it for 20 years, and it was established long before I started here, and I think that it has continued to grow. The program that we are sitting here talking about today, while it may have some of the same courses, the content and the process and the information has evolved over time. And that trajectory makes it an important program, very unique, I think. I think our faculty are also what makes this program what it is. I think we have adjunct faculty that all have professional experience in the areas in which they're teaching. And so that, again, brings this practical concept to it. For me, I wasn't really sure how long I was going to keep doing this after I retired from the Bureau of Prisons. Expecting maybe a couple of years to just do something, bide my time. I've really come to enjoy the camaraderie and the teamwork. I think I have some special coworkers that really are focused on doing a meaningful job and really care about what they're doing. And we talk about that, and that brings some real, wonderful positive experiences, but it also creates some, frustrations that we share with each other, so that we can move past them and keep pushing towards the goal, which I think we all share, and that makes us unique.
Agreed. Okay, last but not least, what advice would you give to either current students or prospective students who are maybe considering our program?
Be ready to critically challenge what you think you know, and throw away what you thought you knew when you learn something that is more concise and supported by data, research, and evidence. We are a program where you will learn to set aside preconceived notions, personal perspectives. You will understand the value of objectivity in a field that can be very demanding, while also understanding how to connect with individuals one-on-one in a therapeutic setting. That requires you to challenge everything you've come to know, and you hold on to what makes sense, and you incorporate the new information. If you can do that, and you really are driven to learn, not just to perform, I think you'll do very well here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Dana, for all of your insights. Greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.